Lovemaking, marriage, and punishment in Shogun Japan. Have you ever wondered how love, marriage, and punishment interacted in the lives of people during the Shogun era of Japan? This was a time filled with traditional customs and codes, one where societal roles were strictly defined, and adherence to these norms was very important. Hello and welcome back to Eccentric History. In today's video, we will look into the fascinating yet intricate world of Shogun Japan, a period spanning from the 12th to the 19th centuries. Our main focus will be on how love unfolded, how marriages were contracted, and how punishments were issued. Contextual background. This period, also known as the Bakuhan era, lasted from 1603 to 1868. During this time, Japan was under the military government of the Shogunate, while regional areas were controlled by daimyos, or feudal lords. The society was very structured. At the top was the shogun, followed by the daimyos, the samurai, and then the peasants, artisans, and merchants. Interestingly, samurais, although placed third in the hierarchy, held a unique position of power and respect due to their military and administrative roles. In this era, three major philosophies greatly influenced societal values and behaviors: Buddhism, Shintoism, and Confucianism. Buddhism, with its teachings on suffering, temporariness, and the pursuit of enlightenment, provided a spiritual lens through which to view life and death. Shintoism, the native spirituality of Japan, emphasized harmony with nature and respect for kami, the divine spirits or gods. It gave Japanese people a deep admiration for the natural world and its cycles. But perhaps the most influential was the Confucianism, which originated in China. More a system of ethical conduct than a religion, Confucianism taught respect for authority, filial piety, loyalty, and righteousness. These values were mirrored in the rigid social hierarchy, strict codes of behavior, and the importance of duty and honor. Together, these philosophies shaped cultural norms, including the practices and rituals of lovemaking, marriage, and punishment. Lovemaking in Shogun Japan. Moving on from the contextual background, let's now venture into the heart of our exploration: lovemaking in Shogun Japan. The beliefs of Buddhism, Shintoism, and Confucianism deeply influence all aspects of life, including romantic relationships. In Shogun Japan, love was often expressed through art and literature, particularly poetry. It was customary for lovers to exchange tanka, a form of short poetry, as love letters. These beautifully crafted verses served as an intimate form of communication, expressing deep emotions and longing. Notably, love in this period was not limited to marriages. Romantic relationships could also occur within polygamous and concubine settings, which were quite prevalent, especially among the upper class. This polygamy was not seen as wrongdoing, but rather as a social norm, especially for men of high status. Interestingly, Shogun Japan society was more lenient towards love and sexual relationships compared to its European contemporaries. Concubinage was accepted, and samurais often kept several concubines in addition to their official wives. The primary function of these relationships was not just procreation, but also alliance building among different families. However, a crucial point to note is that while men could have multiple partners, women were expected to be monogamous. Adultery from the woman's side was viewed as a severe breach of honor. Though these practices may seem quite foreign to us now, they were an integral part of Shogun society. Marriage in Shogun Japan. We now turn to another fundamental aspect of Shogun Japan society, the institution of marriage. While love and courtship painted a more poetic and intimate picture, marriage was a practical and strategic arrangement. Marriage in Shogun Japan was more than the union of two individuals. It was an alliance between families, often used to secure political power, wealth, or social status. A marriage proposal, therefore, was not a matter of personal choice, but a decision made by the heads of the families. considering the potential benefits and alliances. Upon finding the appropriate match, the engagement phase kicked off, beginning with a traditional gift exchange ritual known as yui-no. The groom's family would present various gifts such as sake, money and silk fabrics to the bride's family as a symbol of commitment and goodwill. This ritual was considered a formal agreement of marriage between the two families, intertwining their social, economic and political ties. The wedding ceremony was a grand affair, especially among the samurai and other upper-class families. An essential part of the wedding was the ceremony called san-san-kudo, or 339 times. The number 3 was considered lucky in Shogun Japan, and this ceremony capitalized on that belief. The ritual saw the bride and groom share sake, a traditional Japanese rice wine in a unique pattern. The couple would take 3 sips each from 3 different sized sake cups, symbolizing 3 different aspects of life: heaven, earth, and humankind. The smallest cup represented heaven, signifying the spiritual aspect of the couple's life together. The medium cup represented the earth, embodying their worldly possessions and responsibilities. The largest cup represented humankind, a nod towards their mutual responsibilities as members of society. The repeated action of sipping 3 times from each cup signified the couple's pledge to overcome life's challenges together, whether they are spiritual, physical, or societal. This ritual underlined the sacred bond between the couple while also establishing their shared commitment to fulfilling their roles in the larger societal framework. Central to the marriage process was the marriage contract, outlining the terms and conditions of the union. These contracts addressed a range of matters, including the amount of the dowry, expectations regarding fidelity and childbearing, and even provisions for divorce. In essence, the contract formalized the expectations and responsibilities of the married couple. Once married, the couple was expected to uphold their respective roles. The husband was typically a breadwinner, responsible for supporting the family financially and maintaining their social standing. The wife, on the other hand, was expected to manage the household, raise children, and adhere strictly to the code of fidelity. To modern readers, these practices might seem rigid and transactional. However, within the context of Shogun Japan, they made perfect sense. Marriage was seen as a duty, a societal responsibility that ensured the continuity of the family lineage and honor. The norms also provided structures and predictability, even if they limited personal freedom and choice. Punishment in Shogun Japan. Stepping forward from the world of love and marriage, we now find ourselves in a realm that provided the backbone for societal order in Shogun Japan, the domain of punishment. Here we observe how violations of cultural norms, particularly around love and marriage, were handled. In Shogun Japan, law and order were governed by a system rooted in Confucian principles of hierarchy, respect, and duty. The law was not only a means to maintain social order, but also a tool to instill and reinforce societal values. Punishments were deemed necessary both to deter potential offenders and to demonstrate the consequences of breaking social rules. Prominent among the offences in Shogun Japan were transgressions related to honor, particularly adultery. It was viewed not merely as a personal act of infidelity, but a serious breach of societal norms and values. This perspective was especially applied when a woman committed adultery, as it was seen as a direct affront to her husband and his family's honor. Adultery was a public matter, not a private one. In committing this act, a woman was perceived as spoiling her husband's reputation, disrespecting the sanctity of their marriage, and disrupting the social order. This violation of trust was considered even more severe because marriages in this era were not just about love or companionship, but also about strategic alliances, social status, and the continuation of lineage. Hence, an act of adultery could potentially disrupt these intricate social networks and agreements. The punishment for adultery were severe. Underlining the gravity of this offense, it could lead to exile, a penalty that disconnected the perpetrator from their community, leaving them socially and economically vulnerable. In certain cases, the adulterous woman faced capital punishment. This drastic measure was seen as a way to restore the honor tarnished by her actions. Likewise, the violation of marriage contracts was considered a grave offense. These contracts, as we discussed earlier, specify obligations and expectations within a marriage. Failing to meet these terms could lead to sanctions, usually in the form of divorce or the loss of the dowry. More serious violations could attract harsher penalties. The implementation of punishment in Shogun Japan was uncompromising and severe, mirroring the gravity assigned to the crimes committed. These punishments were not merely designed to penalize, but also to deter others from committing similar offenses and to maintain social order. Public shaming was a common punishment, especially for less severe crimes. This involved exposing the offender's crime to the public, thereby damaging their reputation and standing within the community. This form of punishment leveraged the importance of honor and social status in Shogun Japan society, making the penalty deeply personal and socially impactful. Exile was another frequent punishment, particularly for more serious crimes. Offenders were cast out of their communities, stripped of their social networks, and left to fend for themselves. This was a harsh sentence in a society where social connections and communal living were vital for survival. In cases involving property or financial disputes, property confiscation could be enforced. This punishment directly impacted the offender's economic standing and could have long-term consequences for their livelihood and social status. Physical punishment was also enforced for severe crimes. Flogging, a brutal physical punishment, was a common practice. The pain and public humiliation served as a deterrent to others, emphasizing the consequences of breaking societal norms. For the most severe crimes, capital punishment was invoked. This could be done through beheading, a quick but brutal method of execution. Another form of capital punishment was forcing someone to take their own life, known as seppuku. This practice was especially associated with the samurai class, who expected to take their own lives to restore their honor in the face of a serious disgrace. Seppuku was a clear reflection of the utmost importance placed on honor and duty in Shogun Japan. The societal and psychological impacts of these punishments were profound. They served as a sharp reminder of the potential consequences of breaking societal norms, creating a climate of fear and obedience. Yet they also reinforced the values and behaviors deemed essential for the functioning of society. The punishments were not just about retribution, but also served an important educational role, demonstrating the importance of honor, duty, and respect for authority. As we journey from the intimate whisperings of lovers to the grandeur of marriage rituals and onto the cold severity of punishment, we unearth the intricate notions of honor, duty, and respect. But one question lingers: could these practices from a bygone era still echo in the heart of modern Japan?